Alright, yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome back. We're gonna go ahead and get into part 2 of the Ftmo challenge. I'm basically gonna tell you why I failed the challenge and try to make this one short and sweet. I don't want to bore you with too many details of my journey. Just gonna give you guys a few tips and tricks from what I've learned. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So as I said in the first video, I can't remember everything I went over in that one, but I ended up taking the $10,000 challenge and I lost it over the course of like 212 trades. As you can see, this is my equity curve here, and as you can see, there's a pattern with what I'm doing. The second I see any profits, I have hard fall off. There's consistent wins and then hard fall off once I see a decent amount of profits, consistent wins or whatever. Even then, I dipped into profits here. I had a pretty steep fall. That was a steep climb too as well, but basically lost all that back over a couple trades and then got back out of it and then fell off again. And at this point, I realized that there was I only had 2 days, or I believe like 2 or 3 days left of trading, and I didn't know that. And I basically gambled everything on a pair that I never trade, which is Euro USD. I saw a few guys in this group that I'm in trading it, and I was like, and I did my analysis on it. I was like, it looks good to me, so I stacked up a bunch of trades on it, basically gambled, hoping that I could potentially win the challenge, or at least get through the challenge, and then take my time on the verification and try to actually get those consistent wins to complete it. But as you can see, I violated the max daily loss and the max loss period. I went $1,200, almost $1,300 negative on the account. Of course, I violated the max daily loss in that. Did complete the objective of trading at least 10 days. So the main thing that I believe, well, not the main thing. So another thing that screwed me up on the challenge, this is all me, I'm not blaming Ftmo for this. I thought the 30 days for the challenge was 30 trading days. So as you can see, I only traded 18 days out of the 30 days in the calendar period, but it's actually a 30-day. So it's over a 30-day calendar period. So it's actually just 4 weeks, whatever it is. Even if we trade only 2 days, if you don't complete it within that time, then you lose the challenge. So make sure you guys don't get that confused at all. People fell for many reasons. A lot of people I saw got screwed up because they didn't understand that your equity, not your balance curve, is also taken into consideration. So if you have a trade going into a decent amount of drawdown and you do violate this max daily loss or the max loss, and you see it violates that, and then it eventually goes into profit your way, and you get a winning trade, they're still going to take into consideration that you saw that much drawdown because the account was technically negative that amount, even if you didn't close the trade. So they go based off of the equity. I was making sure I was careful on all that. I was doing good. Like it took me basically 200 trades or so to blow the account. Let's see. Yeah, basically 200 trades is where I lost that max daily loss, and then yeah, pretty much there. And then I basically, the position that I took for the Euro USD trying to beat the challenge, saw too much drawdown and eventually went in my way, went the way I was hoping for. And I got like $1 in profit, so I closed the trade. And then I was hoping that they'd give me a free retake because the account was in profit, but didn't count because I violated these two, the max daily loss and the max loss. So I didn't get the free retake, so be careful of that. I kind of knew it wouldn't go that way, so I still gave it a shot. But so definitely keep that in mind. But all in all, I believe it was my psychology that caused me to fail. As you can see, I can consistently grow the account. I grew it about 5% here, of course, counting the negative balance. I grew it about almost $500 there. Same here from this point, up in the profit, and then fell off. So all in all, is my psychology. And definitely I was over trading as well. I need to trade a bit less because a lot of my losers were coming from just like forcing trades, bad trades. So that was the main thing. So the psychology. Ran out of time, but even the way I was trading at this rate, who knows if I would have beat the challenge. It may have taken me 6 months or so. So kind of glad that it ended the way it did, so that way I can step back and I can reflect on my strategy and like my psychology of like what was happening during the challenge. So all that pretty much ended up working out. Learned a lot of things about myself through this challenge. This is the most consistent that I did trade. I've never took this many trades in this like in this time span or whatever. I'm always looking at the charts, marking up setup, seeing what happens, but I'm never like actually executing trades this often. So it's pretty cool to see that that I was finding the time to trade, even though I was still working full time and stuff like that. And I think I pushed out like 1 or 2 YouTube videos. Pretty hard, but I'm learning to make it work or whatever like that. I don't know if you guys want to see all this here, so I could go through this, like the details of it a bit. Ftmo, they do give you like an analysis basically on why they think you failed the challenge and other areas you can work on. So I could touch on those things a bit here. I'm not going to go over the stuff they sent me. It's pretty good information, but I'll just summarize everything. So ignore this one here. This one is the times that you're most profitable. These profits here are basically from the Euro USD trade, and these losses are also from the Euro USD. And let's see. So this is kind of up and down for the most part through the challenge. Kind of got messed up the last few trades I took. It says I'm more profitable buying, but also taking into consideration the Euro USD trades I've taken. But even throughout the challenge, I was more profitable buying. I wasn't doing too well trading SPX 500. That was a lot better with GBP USD. GJ, I don't even know why I traded that. I don't usually trade that. I only took a few on that one and saw some losers. And GBP NZD, I was kind of break even with that. I was up and down, saw profits and losses. Lot sizes were pretty much, I tend to do better with the higher lot sizes, it looks like. Lower lot sizes, as it gets lower, it's like kind of back and forth. Yes, and the most important aspect of this, what I would say would be the, like, regardless of everything I said, if you have a really high risk to reward ratio, let's say shoot for at least 3. I always preach that I shoot for at least a 3 risk to reward ratio, and I did not live up to that. I ended up getting a 1.68 risk to reward, and my win rate was only 36. So if I would have had that 3 risk to reward, I probably would have passed the challenge. So let me see. I have this little equity simulator. I can show you guys this real quick. It's pretty cool. So let's say at a 36% win rate with a 1.68 risk to reward ratio. I don't want to risk more than 0.5% per trade, which is what I was actually doing. And this is basically how many trades it took. Like, it's simulated how many trades you're taking. So I actually took 200 trades. So let me go ahead and put in 200, run it. So it looks like with that risk to reward, here, let me do 3 lines. That's a lot to look at. All right. So for the most part, like you can see that you're kind of up and down, even with those numbers. So these are basically the numbers I had. So it wasn't a high chance of me technically completing the challenge. None of these simulated any winners hitting that 10% growth on the account. Let's see. So let's say if I actually lived up to my 3.0 risk to reward ratio, then look at that. Look at the balance curve. So much more clean. Like, even though I'm still losing 36%, this is why I preach risk to reward a lot on here. So that's definitely something I'm going to focus on. Like, I'm not taking anything less than 3 on my risk to reward. Like, I would have easily, like, this is 15% growth right here. Look at this is 20, 25, 30. Like, you're just in a consistent uptrend. If I could still lose as much as I was doing, as long as my winners were 3 times the amount of my losses, I would have been good. So that's a good risk to reward ratio to live by. Let's see if I even went with like a 2.0. Still looks better. You see some winners, but for the most part, you can grow the account that 10%. So for the most part, you're profitable. This one little equity curve here is like up and down. It could be whatever, but yeah. So I just want to show you guys that or whatever. So I need to work on my risk to reward ratio, my psychology, and over trading. Those are the main things that caused me to lose the challenge. As long as I would have stuck to those things and really like focused on them, and of course paying attention to how many days there were in the challenge. So I guess you could say there were 4 reasons why I technically lost the challenge. So yeah, those are things I got to focus on. Those are things I want you guys to be aware of when you're trading. You could be a totally different person. Psychology may not be a factor. It could be your strategy, could be your risk to reward. I don't know. There's a lot of variables in this that you all should consider. But for the most part, as long as your risk to reward is good and your psychology is good, and your win rate is like decent, then you'll be good. But you want to be very consistent. I've seen some people charts where they're just like up and down, like heavy, like just back and forth. But I saw some consistency in there. I'm a little proud of myself for like what happens when I did see some large drawdown. I did something mentally. I stepped away from it for a few days or a day or two. Didn't step away too long. Came back to it and then started getting those losses back. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I really want to thank you guys for watching, and I do want to let you know that I am taking the challenge again. This is not the last you're going to see of me taking the FTMO challenge, but next time I am opting for the $100,000 account. And I have been doing a lot of demo trading on $100,000 accounts, so I can get used to seeing the numbers and stuff like that. I mean, everything's percentage based, so the account size doesn't matter, but it just gives me a little bit more comfortable trading that type of capital because those are some big numbers. And yeah, so yeah, thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for the next.